The massive council chamber stretched across the alien world like a crystal mountain. 47 different species sat in judgment of humanity. Their decision was final. Earth would be cut off from the galaxy forever. Admiral Jake Morrison stood, straight as the alien leader spoke. The creature looked like living crystal with too many arms. Its voice came through machines that turned alien sounds into human words. Behind Jake stood Ambassador Lisa Carter. Her face showed nothing, but inside she felt sick. The charges against humanity were always the same. Humans expanded too fast. They refused to follow galactic rules. They solved problems with violence instead of talking. They scared the other species with their anger and their need to fight. The species called humans will stay in their home system, the crystal alien announced. All trade stops now. All friendship ends today. No human ship can leave the Sol system ever again. Jake watched as the barrier formed around Earth's solar system. It was made of energy that would stop any human ship from traveling faster than light. The colonies humans had built near Earth could stay, but they would be trapped too, cut off from the rest of the galaxy like prisoners. Back on Earth, President Helen Burke got the news in her office. The most important people in the government sat around her. Military leaders and scientists waited to see what she would do. Everyone expected her to beg, to send messages asking the aliens to change their minds, to promise that humans would be better. Instead, Helen smiled. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said as she turned to face them, "it looks like we just got the best gift in human history. Complete freedom to do whatever we want." Dr. Nathan Cross ran the secret space drive project. He leaned forward in his chair. "Madam President, we are talking about being cut off from civilizations that are thousands of years ahead of us in technology. Are we?" Helen's smile got bigger. "Or are we talking about 47 species so scared of what humans might become that they just gave us the best reason ever to prove them right?" The news spread across Earth's internet and television. Something strange happened. Instead of crying and giving up, people got angry. But it was good anger, fighting anger. The galaxy said humans were too dangerous and too wild for civilized. Space? Fine. Humans would show them what dangerous really looked like. In secret labs from the frozen south. To the moon, scientists began opening old files. Projects that had been locked away because they were too risky, too aggressive, too human for the aliens to accept. Things like Nathan Cross's space drive that could fold space without using the alien HFY system. The aliens controlled all. The roads between stars. Their ships could only travel on paths they had built over thousands of years. But Nathan had been working on something different. A drive that would punch holes in space itself. It was dangerous and used huge amounts of power, but it would be completely independent. Helen called her advisors together the next day. The room was full of the smartest people on Earth, military commanders who had fought in 3 wars, scientists who had built impossible machines, engineers who could make anything work. "How long?" she asked Nathan. 6 months to build the first test ship, he said. "Maybe a year to build something that could carry people safely." "Not good enough," Helen said. "I want a fleet ready in 6 months." "Not one ship, a fleet," General Roy Baker spoke up. "Madame President, building a space fleet that fast is impossible. We don't have the shipyards or the materials or the people." "Then we build them," Helen said simply. "Every factory on Earth stops making cars and starts making spaceships. Every person who ever dreamed of going to the stars gets their chance. The aliens want us contained in one system. We'll use that system to build something they never imagined." The meeting went on for hours. Plans grew from impossible to merely insane. Earth would build not just ships, but entire mobile cities. Manufacturing plants that could work in deep space. Weapons that could protect human colonies without any help from alien technology. Dr. Sarah White ran the genetics program. "We should also consider that humans might need to adapt to different worlds. Gene therapy could help colonists survive on planets that would normally kill them." "Do it," Helen said. "Whatever it takes to make humans survive anywhere in the galaxy." The next few days changed everything. Every major corporation got new orders from the government. Build ships, build drives, build weapons, build everything. Humans would need to not just survive in exile, but to thrive. Jake Morrison got promoted to Admiral of the new Deep Space Fleet, a fleet that didn't exist yet but would soon. Lisa Carter became head of the Colonial Department. Her job was to figure out where humans could go and how they could live there. The aliens had made one big mistake. They thought cutting humans off from galactic civilization would make them weaker. Instead, it made them free. Free to build technology the aliens had banned. Free to expand in directions the aliens feared. Free to become exactly what the galaxy was afraid they might become. Nathan Cross worked 20-hour days on his space drive. Every test brought them closer to breaking free from the alien cage. His team pushed the laws of physics to their limits and then pushed harder. "Sir," his assistant Julie Adams said one morning, "the latest test results are incredible. We can fold space across distances of 20 light-years in a single jump." Nathan smiled. 20 light-years was farther than most alien ships could travel. In a week using their highway system, humans would be able to cross vast distances in minutes. Helen Burke stood at her office window looking up at the sky. Somewhere out there, 47 alien species thought they had solved the human problem. They had no idea what was coming. In shipyards that were being built faster than anyone thought possible, the first human deep space vessels were taking shape. Ships designed not for exploration or trade but for war and colonization. Ships that could travel independently for decades. Ships that could build other ships from asteroid materials. Ships that could establish human civilization on any world they found. The galaxy had made its choice. Now humanity would make theirs. They would not argue with the decision. They would not beg to be allowed back. They would simply leave and become something the galaxy had never seen before, a completely free human civilization with no rules except the ones they made for themselves. 6 months after the aliens banished humanity, Earth looked completely different. Giant shipyards floated in space near the moon and around Earth. Millions of people worked day and night building the largest fleet in human history. The noise of construction never stopped. Captain Ryan Foster stood on the bridge of the new ship USS Independence. Through the windows, he could see another massive ship being built. Robot workers moved like metal ants putting together pieces bigger than city blocks. The Independence was 1 kilometer long and built for war and long journeys. "She is beautiful," said Commander Beth Wilson as she joined Ryan at the window. Beth designed the engines for all the new ships. She knew every bolt and wire in the Independence. Fusion drives that can run for 50 years. Life support systems that never break down. "We can build new ships and grow food and make everything we need." Ryan nodded as he studied the sleek warship. "How many ships total in the first wave?" 37 Independence-class warships, 15 Magellan-class science ships, 8 new Horizon Colony ships. Beth showed him a hologram with all the ships. Each Independence carries 800 crew and can hold 2,000 people if needed. The colony ships can carry 50,000 people each in cold sleep. The numbers were incredible. In less than a year, humans had built a fleet that could carry almost 500,000 people to the stars. But the most amazing part was not the ships themselves. It was the new space drive that would power them. Dr. Nathan Cross had finished his space folding drive 3 months earlier. Unlike the alien highway system that needed huge structures and fixed roads, the Cross drive could make temporary holes in space. The range was shorter than alien drives, but it gave humans something much better: complete freedom to go anywhere. "Any news from the Deep Scouts?" Ryan asked. Beth smiled with excitement. Kelly Adams sent a message from the Kepler 442 system. "Yesterday, 3 planets that humans can live on. Rich asteroid belts full of metals. No aliens anywhere. She says it would be perfect for our first big colony." The Deep Scouts were small, fast ships with brave volunteers who took one-way trips. Their job was to find star systems beyond alien territory where humans could build new homes. The volunteers knew they might never see Earth again, but millions of people had asked to go. President Helen Burke had spoken to the nation last week. She stood in front of Congress with Admiral Jake Morrison beside her. "We have a choice," she had said. "We can stay trapped in one star system and slowly die. Or we can use this chance to become something the galaxy has never seen. A truly free, space-traveling civilization." The Exodus Project was not just about leaving Earth. It was about changing what humans could become. Humanity would spread across the outer edges of the galaxy. They would build hidden colonies and create a network of human worlds that followed no alien laws. Earth had become a planet-sized factory. Every major corporation had been ordered to build ships and weapons and colony equipment. The unemployment rate was zero because everyone had jobs building humanity's future. Schools taught children how to live in space and on alien worlds. Ryan walked through the Independence's corridors. Every section was designed for long-term survival. The ship had factories that could make tools and weapons from raw materials. Hydroponic gardens could feed the entire crew fresh food. Medical bays that could perform any surgery or treat any disease. "Captain Foster to the bridge," came the announcement over the ship's speakers. Ryan hurried back to find Admiral Morrison waiting for him. "Ryan," the Admiral said, "are you ready to make history?" "Yes, sir," Ryan replied. "The Independence is ready for anything," Morrison smiled. "Good, because you are going to test something no human has ever tried. Dr. Cross wants to attempt the first long-range space fold with a full crew." The thought was both exciting and terrifying. The cross-drive had been tested with small, unmanned ships, but never with people aboard. The physics said it should work. But physics and reality sometimes disagreed. Dr. Cross arrived on the bridge with his team of scientists. His hair was messy, and his clothes were wrinkled from working too many hours. "Captain Foster, the spacefold mathematics are perfect. We can jump 18 light-years directly to the Kepler 442 system. One jump that would take alien ships weeks to make using their highway. No alien species had ever tried such a thing. Their highway system was fast but required careful navigation through established jump points. Humans were about to prove that raw mathematical force could achieve the impossible." The rest of the fleet prepared for departure. 37 warships and their support vessels would make humanity's first independent journey to another star. Each ship carried thousands of people who would never see Earth again. Volunteers who believed that human freedom was worth any risk. Beth Wilson ran final checks on all the ship systems. "Fusion reactors are running perfectly. Life support is stable. The spacefold drive is charged and ready." Ryan opened communications to the entire fleet. "All ships, this is Independence Actual. Today we become the first humans to travel between stars as free people. Prepare for spacefold in 60 seconds. The countdown began. In 60 seconds, humans would either prove they could travel anywhere in the galaxy or they would all die trying. But every person in the fleet had volunteered, knowing the risks. They would rather die free than live as prisoners. 30 seconds, announced the navigation officer. Ryan thought about Earth behind them. About the aliens who thought they had solved the human problem by locking them away. About the millions of humans still building more ships for the next wave of colonies. 10 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, execute spacefold. Reality twisted around them. For a moment that felt like forever, the crew experienced something no living being had survived before. Conscious travel through folded space and time. Then, with a feeling like breaking through water, the Independence and her fleet appeared in the Kepler 442 system. Around them was virgin space, a star system that no alien had ever touched. 3 beautiful planets that could support human life. Asteroid belts rich with rare metals. Kelly Adams had chosen perfectly. Within hours, the colony ships began sending down construction robots to the best planet. The warships spread out through the system, establishing sensor networks and defensive positions. Humanity had arrived in the galaxy, and they were here to stay. The first human colony on Haven grew faster than anyone had imagined possible. What started as emergency shelters became permanent buildings within weeks. The automated construction systems worked day and night, turning raw materials into homes. and factories and defensive walls. Captain Ryan Foster walked through New Angeles, the main settlement on Haven. The streets buzzed with activity as colonists unloaded supplies from the orbiting ships. Children who had been born on Earth played in parks while their parents built humanity's first independent world. The population count is up to 40,000 now, reported Commander Beth Wilson as she joined Ryan on his inspection tour. The hydroponic farms are producing enough food for 60,000. The mining operations in the asteroid belt are exceeding all projections. Ryan nodded as he watched the busy colonists. Haven was proving that humans could not only survive but thrive, without any help from galactic civilization. The planet had clean air and fresh water and rich soil. The 3 moons provided excellent locations for military bases and sensor stations. Dr. Nathan Cross had established his main research laboratory in orbit around Haven. His team was already working on improvements to the spacefold drive. Each test brought them closer to longer jumps and more precise navigation. Dr. Cross, to all ships, came the announcement over the communication system. I have excellent news. The new drive modifications will allow us to jump 25 light years with perfect accuracy. We can reach star systems that are completely unknown to galactic civilization. The implications were staggering. Humans could now travel farther and faster than most alien species while remaining completely independent of their infrastructure. Every successful jump proved that humanity had chosen the right path. Meanwhile, more colony ships arrived from Earth every month. The second wave brought 50,000 more settlers and the materials to build a proper shipyard in the Haven system. Soon, Haven would be producing its own fleet of exploration and colony vessels. Admiral Jake Morrison established his headquarters on Haven's largest moon. From there, he coordinated the growing network of human settlements. The strategic situation was developing exactly as Earth had hoped. Multiple colonies meant multiple backup plans if any single world was discovered by hostile aliens. Admiral, we have a priority message from Scout Captain Kelly Adams, announced Communications Officer Janet Kelly. She has made an important discovery in the Gliese 667 system. Morrison read the message with growing excitement. Kelly had found something that changed everything they thought they knew about the galaxy. An abandoned alien facility that was clearly of galactic origin but had been empty for hundreds of years. Get me Dr. Cross immediately, Morrison ordered. And prepare a fast ship for Gliese 667? We need to investigate this discovery personally. Within hours, Morrison and Cross were aboard the scout ship Pioneer, jumping toward the Gliese 667 system. The journey that would have taken weeks using alien highways was completed in 3 spacefolds over 2 days. Kelly Adams met them at the mysterious facility. It was built into an asteroid and showed technology far more advanced than anything currently used by galactic civilization. The power systems were still functional, but the facility appeared to have been abandoned centuries ago. The dating system suggests this was active within the last 1,000 years, Kelly explained as they toured the empty corridors. But the technology level is beyond anything we saw during our contact with the Galactic Council. Dr. Cross ran his scanner over the alien equipment. This is incredible. Energy efficiency rates that exceed theoretical maximums. Materials that should not be able to exist. Manufacturing techniques that could revolutionize our entire industrial base. Morrison studied the facility's design. It was clearly built for long-term monitoring and defense, weapon systems that could destroy entire fleets, sensor arrays that could detect ships across hundreds of light years, communication equipment that could send messages instantly across galactic distances. Why would anyone abandon technology this advanced? Morrison wondered aloud. Maybe they did not abandon it voluntarily, Cross suggested. Maybe something forced them to retreat. The implications were disturbing. If a civilization with this level of technology had been forced to withdraw, then what kind of threat could have driven them away? And more importantly, where had that threat gone? Back on Haven, the colony continued to expand. The asteroid mining operations were producing rare metals that Earth had never seen in such quantities. The shipyard was completing its first locally built vessel. a fast scout ship designed specifically for long-range exploration beyond galactic borders. President Helen Burke arrived on Haven aboard the colony ship New Washington. Her visit was partly ceremonial but mainly practical. She wanted to see firsthand how well the exile was working for humanity. Madam President, Ryan Foster reported during her briefing, Haven is not just surviving, we are thriving. Population growth is ahead of schedule. Industrial output exceeds all projections. We are completely self-sufficient and expanding rapidly. Burke toured the growing cities and talked with the colonists. What she found amazed her. These were not desperate refugees clinging to survival. These were confident pioneers building something better than what they had left behind on Earth. The children born on Haven would grow up as free humans. They would never know the restrictions and limitations that galactic civilization had tried to impose on their species. They would explore and expand and build exactly as human nature demanded. How many systems do we control now? Burke asked Admiral Morrison. 15 established colonies with full populations. 32 outposts with small survey teams. 47 systems claimed for future development. Morrison showed her a holographic map of human space. We are expanding faster than any species in galactic history. Burke smiled as she studied the map. The galaxy had tried to contain humanity in one star system. Instead, they had created the conditions for the most rapid expansion ever achieved by any civilization, but the discovery of advanced alien ruins raised new questions. If galactic civilization had once extended much farther than it did now, then something had forced a massive retreat. The current aliens might not even know about the threat that had driven their predecessors back to the galactic core. Humanity was expanding into space that had once hosted advanced civilizations. They were finding and studying technology that exceeded current galactic standards. Most importantly, they were building a network of hidden colonies that could defend each other against any threat. The galaxy had banished humanity to protect itself from human aggression. Instead, it had created exactly what the galaxy might need. A species that built for war even in peacetime. A civilization that refused to accept limitations. A people who would fight anything that threatened their freedom. 2 years after the first Exodus wave, humanity's expansion had grown beyond every prediction. What began as refugee settlements on Haven had become thriving cities with millions of people. The asteroid mining operations produced more rare materials than Earth had ever seen. Most importantly, each new colony became a launching point for even more expansion. Commander Alex Stone stood in the command center of Outpost Gamma, humanity's first military base in the disputed Vega sector. Around him, holographic displays showed the positions of 43 human colonies scattered across a region of space larger than the entire galactic core territories. Admiral Morrison has been busy, observed his second-in-command, Major Diana Chun. She pointed to a tactical display showing the latest colony ships departing for even more distant systems. At this rate, we will have 100 worlds within 5 years. Alex nodded as he studied the expansion patterns. Humanity had not simply fled from galactic civilization. They had executed a carefully planned colonization strategy that established strategic depth throughout the galaxy's outer rim. Each colony was positioned to support others, creating a network of mutual defense and resource sharing. The technology gap that had initially worried Earth's leadership was closing rapidly. Dr. Nathan Cross's team had reverse-engineered several abandoned galactic facilities, leading to breakthroughs in energy production materials, science, and ship design. The newest human vessels incorporated alien innovations with distinctly human improvements. Status report on Project Prometheus? Alex asked. Diana's expression grew serious. Dr. Martinez thinks they have solved it. The prototype should be ready for testing next month. Project Prometheus represented humanity's most ambitious technological leap. A self-replicating construction system that could establish fully functional colonies without human oversight. Send a Prometheus seed to any system with adequate resources, and within a year it will produce infrastructure defensive systems and manufacturing capability. The concept was simple but revolutionary. Humans could claim and develop star systems faster than they could travel to them. A single ship could deploy dozens of Prometheus seeds to different systems. Each seed would build a complete colony and then launch more seeds to nearby systems, but it was the discovery in the Tau Ceti system that truly revealed humanity's potential. Captain Roy Baker, commanding the Deep Scout vessel Pioneer, had detected something unprecedented. An entire alien city preserved in perfect condition but completely abandoned. The dating suggests this facility was active within the last 1,000 years, Dr. Cross explained during the emergency conference call connecting Earth with major colonies. The technology level exceeds current galactic standards by several orders of magnitude. President Helen Burke leaned forward in her chair from her office on Earth. Are you suggesting there was a more advanced civilization that simply vanished? Not vanished, Cross corrected. Withdrawn. We are finding similar sites throughout human space. Something caused a massive retreat from the outer galaxy, and I do not think the current Galactic Council knows about it. The implications were staggering. Humanity was not just expanding into empty space. They were uncovering evidence of a galactic civilization that had once spanned far beyond current borders. The advanced technology in these ruins was accelerating human development at an unprecedented rate. The city in Tau Ceti was enormous. It could have housed 10 million beings and showed signs of having been evacuated in great haste. The technology was so advanced that human scientists could barely understand how it worked. Energy systems that drew power directly from space itself. Transportation networks that moved objects instantly across vast distances. Manufacturing systems that could create any material by rearranging atomic structures. We need to be very careful about this, Admiral Morrison warned during the conference. If this civilization was forced to retreat, then whatever drove them away might still be out there. But the lure of the technology was too great to resist. Human scientists began carefully studying the abandoned facilities. Each discovery led to new breakthroughs in human capabilities. Weapons that could destroy entire fleets. Shields that could protect planets from any attack. Engines that could fold space across hundreds of light years in a single jump. Back on Earth, the transformation was equally dramatic. With the population pressure relieved by massive emigration, the planet had become a technological powerhouse, focused on supporting the growing colonial empire. The secret shipyards now produced vessels that dwarfed anything in the current galactic fleet. How many humans are there now in the outer colonies? Burke asked her aide during their daily briefing. Latest census shows 12 million, Madam President, and growing by 200,000 per month. Burke smiled as she reviewed the reports. The galaxy had banished humanity to prevent their expansion. Instead, they had created the conditions for the most rapid territorial growth in galactic history. The human colonies were not just settlements. They were fortresses designed to defend against any threat. Every civilian was trained for combat. Every factory could be converted to military production within days. Every school taught children how to fight and survive in hostile environments. Dr. Sarah White had established genetic modification centers on every major colony. Humans were being adapted to survive on different types of worlds. Some could breathe methane atmospheres. Others could survive in high radiation environments. Still others were modified for low gravity or extreme temperatures. We are not just expanding human territory, she reported to the Colonial Council. We are expanding human capability. Each colony is developing specialized populations optimized for their local conditions. The most impressive achievement was the speed of technological advancement. Human engineers were not just copying alien technology, they were improving it, combining the best features of different systems, creating hybrid technologies that performed better than their original sources. The new human ships were marvels of engineering. They combined the durability of human design with the efficiency of alien technology and the power of ancient systems. A single human warship could now defeat an entire alien fleet using conventional galactic technology. The galaxy made a serious mistake, Admiral Morrison observed during a strategy meeting on Haven. They feared human aggression, so they gave us complete freedom to develop that aggression without any restraints. The irony was perfect. The Galactic Council had tried to prevent human expansion by isolating them. Instead, they had created exactly what they feared most: a completely independent human civilization with no rules except the ones they made for themselves, and humans were making rules that prioritized survival, expansion, and technological advancement above all else. Every human colony was a stepping stone to more colonies. Every technological breakthrough was shared instantly across human space. Every threat was met with overwhelming force. The galaxy had created its own worst nightmare, a human empire that grew stronger and larger every day while remaining completely hidden from galactic oversight. 5 years after humanity's banishment, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. For months, their border sensors had detected strange readings from the outer rim, energy signatures that did not match any known technology. Massive construction projects in supposedly empty systems. Most disturbing of all, archaeological disturbances on worlds that had been classified as uninhabitable. Chancellor Vextar of the Zephyrian Empire called the session to order with barely hidden anxiety. The crystal being's voice trembled as it spoke through the translation devices. Fellow counselors, we face an unprecedented situation. Our isolation of the human species appears to have had unexpected consequences. The assembled delegates murmured uneasily as holographic displays showed the evidence. 47 human colonies spread across a volume of space that exceeded the Galactic Council's own territory. Industrial output that suggested a manufacturing base beyond anything humanity had possessed during their contact period. Most disturbing of all, technological signatures that resembled the ancient ruins scattered throughout the galaxy. Impossible, declared the hegemony representative. The large insect-like creature clicked its mandibles in distress. We monitored their technological development for decades. They lacked the knowledge for such expansion. The Andromedan delegate of flowing energy being gestured at the displays. These readings suggest they have developed faster than light travel that operates independently of our highway system. How is this possible? Admiral Jake Morrison materialized in the council chamber as a holographic projection. It was the first time a human had addressed the Galactic Council since the banishment. The delegates fell silent as the weathered admiral smiled calmly at the assembled aliens. Honorable counselors, Morrison began, his voice carrying the confidence of a man who held all the advantages. Thank you for this opportunity to address your concerns. This is outrageous, interrupted the Andromedan delegate. You have violated the terms of your isolation. Human ships have been detected beyond the soul barrier. Have we? Morrison's smile widened. I have reviewed the exact wording of your banishment decree. Humans were forbidden from traveling beyond the soul barrier. Using galactic technology or infrastructure, we have scrupulously observed that restriction. The implications hit the Council like a physical blow. Humanity had developed completely independent faster than light technology. They had established an interstellar civilization without using a single galactic jump point or highway node. Chancellor Vextar's crystalline form flickered with distress. What do you want, human? Nothing from you, Morrison replied calmly. We are here to offer you something. You see, in our explorations, we have discovered evidence of a threat that forced the ancient civilization to abandon the outer galaxy. That threat is returning. The chamber erupted in denial and protest, but Morrison continued, speaking with unshakable calm. Our archaeological teams have found warning beacons, automated defense systems, most importantly, records describing an enemy that consumes civilizations. The ancients built a defensive line along what you now consider the galaxy's edge. That line is failing. Dr. Nathan Cross appeared beside Morrison's projection, displaying data that made several delegates visibly recoil. Energy readings from beyond the galactic rim, massive objects moving at incredible speeds towards civilized space. Distress signals from automated warning systems that had been silent for 1,000 years. The entity they called the Void Shepherds operated beyond our current galactic borders, Cross explained. The ancient civilization retreated inward, abandoning vast territories to create a buffer zone. That buffer zone is collapsing. Why should we believe you? Demanded the hegemony representative. This could be an elaborate deception to gain readmission. To galactic society? Because, Morrison said as new displays activated, you are about to see the first probe scouts on your outer sensors. And because humanity is the only force currently positioned to stop what is coming, the tactical displays updated showing not just human colonies but massive defensive installations. Fleets of warships unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Most impressively, a growing network of ancient weapons. Being restored to functionality by human engineers, the scale was breathtaking. Humanity had not just survived their banishment. They had used it to become the galaxy's most powerful military force. Every human colony was also a fortress. Every civilian was trained for combat. Every factory could be converted to weapons. Production within hours. President Helen Burke's image joined the projection from her office on Earth. 5 years ago, you banished us because you feared human aggression and independence. You were right to fear us, but you were wrong about why. We are not aggressive because we enjoy conflict. We are aggressive because we refuse to accept defeat. She gestured to the displays showing humanity's expansion. Every human colony is positioned for maximum strategic value. Every ship is designed for long-term independent operation. Every citizen knows that survival depends on strength and vigilance. The council chamber fell silent as the full implications became clear. In trying to contain humanity, the galaxy had inadvertently created its salvation. Humanity had not just survived their banishment. They had used it to become something unprecedented in galactic history. The Void Shepherds are coming whether you accept our help or not, Admiral Morrison continued. Our deep space monitors have detected the first scout probes entering this galaxy. They will be followed by harvester fleets designed to strip entire star systems of all useful matter. The displays showed intercepted transmissions from the approaching enemy, signals that spoke of hunger and consumption, of civilizations reduced to raw materials for incomprehensible purposes, of entire sectors of space left empty and lifeless. But we have advantages the ancients did not, Morrison said. We have studied their defensive systems and improved them. We have weapons they never imagined. Most importantly, we have something they lacked: the absolute determination to fight for every inch of space. Chancellor Vextar spoke in a voice barely above a whisper. What are you proposing? Full alliance, Burke replied. Humanity takes responsibility for defending the Outer Rim. The Galactic Council provides what support it can. Together we face this threat as equals. The silence stretched for long moments. Finally, the Andromedan delegate spoke. The motion to rescind humanity's banishment and establish full military alliance. The vote was unanimous. Not out of guilt or mercy, but out of the dawning realization that, in their fear of human potential, they had accidentally created the galaxy's greatest protectors. As the council session ended, Morrison allowed himself a satisfied smile. Humanity had been given the gift of banishment, and they had transformed it into exactly what the universe needed them to become. The galaxy's guardians against the darkness between stars.